What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Keto Rewind. Today is a week, I think, 182 update of my keto journey, my journey to rewind my health from a morbidly obese weight to a healthy weight with a ketogenic, low carb, and active lifestyle. So today's video is going to recap the last week and what it took to hit that reset button and do the comeback tour, or round two. For those of you that might be new to this channel, I started my journey February 11th, 2019, and I discovered a ketogenic lifestyle, went hardcore keto for a little over a year, lost 130 pounds. I got down to like 180. It was like 1 pound from my goal weight. And then it was at that point where I didn't know what to do next. All I knew was extreme restriction, extreme, like just get it done mentality, and started the climb back up. So over the past year and a half, it's just been one of these yo-yos, riding this, extreme restriction, extreme overeating, and fixing it by extreme restriction, and that yo-yo process. So over the summer, or I guess slightly before the summer, I decided I need to work on the mental health aspect. And I knew that this was going to be something that the weight loss kind of had to sit on hold for a little bit while I dug through this, found out what's going on, figure out what do I want, kind of like what I know differently, and get a new plan to go forward. But there was no point in trying to keep that extreme restriction going if I wasn't getting the mental health aspect first. What triggers you, how to overcome stresses, like all these things where you just need to know as much as you can before you start your journey. If not, the yo-yo or the circle just keeps revolving, So after formulating a plan, and while I was on vacation, I decided last week was it. I knew what I wanted. I knew what didn't work, mostly, and I was going to, come up with a solution now that I have some experience under my belt and try again. So that's where I am right now. So if that sounds something that like you can relate to and you want to subscribe, don't forget hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. So this week I have had, or I guess this week is basically recapping last week. And my kids went back to school. The routines of normal life resumed. I was just figuring out what to do at this point. So I implemented all right, today's the day, enough's enough. Let's get this done, but let's get this done smart, or with some type of intention behind, not just throwing darts at the wall, seeing what sticks approach. So week 182 was, I came to this, I guess I came to this like epiphany after towards the end of the week, after I'm reflecting and everything. And I want to say I spent way too much time in my life, not even just the morbidly obese just way too long in my actual life, focusing on what I looked like. And after going through this journey, and it's taken all these wild turns, I forgot to focus on what my body can do. I'm only looking outside. I'm not looking what's inside and pushing that and seeing what can happen. I'm only trying to fix the outside, kind of thing. And I think that's where I've been going wrong. So, and that adds to my next point is I needed to establish new routines. I needed to just establish a way of eating that was comfortable and easy to do. I needed to be smart about the restriction part, because the over-restriction caused the overeating, and the overeating caused the over-restriction, and this extreme thing was never going to work for me. So I needed to find a healthy level of restriction. So in other words, I kind of need to be uncomfortable for the next year or two while I hash this stuff out, so that I can be comfortable for the rest of my life. Because I know the standard American diet doesn't work for me, but I know super restriction doesn't work for me either. I want to be able to live and not feel restricted, and I want to be happy, and I want to do what I can inside to live that, and that's like, It's a huge part of whether or not your weight loss journey is going to pass or fail. So all week, because I'd stepped on the scale last week to get like the report card, and I was like, oh my God, my first instinct, I put back on like 60 pounds, over since my lowest. So, and it's been over like a year and a half of this, and I've regained 60 of the 130 I'd lost. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta fix this. I gotta fix this week. So my head all week was like battling the urge to go extreme. Cut everything out, cut the calories, and do what I did before that made me drop a lot of weight really fast. I mean, I dropped 130 pounds in like a little over a year, and it was extreme. So my instincts inside of me is like, cut it all out, cut, stop eating, like work out, run 50 miles this week, like it was the urge to just go extreme. I fought that all week because what I know is the extremes don't work. They're not sustainable. I should say they work in a short term thing, but they're never intended to be it. The answer. They were never intended to be sustainable. They're just like a quick fix temporarily. So yeah, I shouldn't say all extremes don't work, but they're not intended to be permanent. You can't sustain that. So, but like that urge inside me was like, oh my God, I gotta undo 60 pounds in like this week. It's unacceptable. Like, and it's this just frustration to like, let's pick up the pace here, Jess. And it's like, no, I fought that all week. I'm like, I am not doing that. I am not going extreme. We're going to take this low and slow, and we're going to just slowly take one step up the hill each chance, I don't need to go from step 1 to step 20. Like I've got to go through 1 through 9 first before I can get to 10, So, it was a hard internal battle not to just take that instinct to just, no one eating, So much so that I decided not to even log anything into Carb Manager yet. I'm not at the point right now where I'm going to track or, keep a food diary. I'm just going to keep to the basics. So that was easy to do. And I didn't feel like I restricted at all. I have no idea how many calories I even ate this week. All I know is that I just tightened it up a little. Not a lot, a little. And I managed to scrape off 3 pounds this week without even trying. It was pretty cool. And the funny thing is, I know it's like part of the urge in the background was like, I know if I went balls to the wall, super restrictive, counted every carb, macro in general, stuck to like 1,100 calories, I could have pulled like a 10-pound loss this week. So it's like fighting that urge where I'm like, no, I don't need to do that anymore. That didn't work. No. But it's hard to fight that mentality when all you know for at least the past 20 years is extremes. So, but it's possible, right? It's going to take time to unwrite that in my brain, like low and slow, Jess, low and slow. We don't need to go balls to the wall. So, with all that said, my goal now, instead of like a weight loss journey, which indirectly, obviously I have to get 60 pounds off, but indirectly, I don't want to call it a weight loss journey. I want to call it a fitness journey. And that's because I want to start pushing my body from inside through a fitness journey. And that's because at some point, as long as I am doing this new thing and embracing every part of it, it's at some point I'm not gonna have any more weight to lose. So like, that's why I'm like, I just want it to be a fitness journey. I don't want the label of it, well, it's a weight loss journey. That's just gonna indirectly, I'm gonna lose weight creating these new healthy habits that work for me. So along those lines, I wanna treat my body like any other relationship that I would have in my life. I'm a huge person on respect. I'm a huge fan of being happy. I'm a huge fan of love. I'm not respecting my body with extremes. I'm not respecting my body when I'm self-loathing or, all that internal dialogue with my inner critic. I'm not respecting my body when somebody else makes me upset, like a stress or, trigger, and eating to feel better. That's not respecting my body. And that's not loving my body, you know, focusing on what the outside looks like instead of loving the inside, because our bodies are pretty amazing, you know, like they're resilient. I've put some serious stress on my body in my life, and my body's still providing, you know, and still wanting to grow with me. So that when I change the relationship with my body, I'm treating it like my going forward, I'm treating it like it's any other relationship in my life. I want that relationship to be the best it can be. And the cool thing is, the more I treat my body with respect, love, patience, you know, the more that it nourishes it, and it's gonna grow into something great, you know, and that's what I have to look forward to right now. And I'm not talking the physical appearance. Yes, that's gonna get better. But I'm talking about, I'm gonna be able to do things that I've always wanted to do, things that make me happy, and the things that will bring me comfort for the rest of my life, you know, but I'm putting in the hard work now. Like, there's a lot of things to undo, relearn, and try again. And it's not to say that my first weight loss attempt was a failure, but it did show me the blueprint at what didn't work and what does work. And it's going to be individual to anybody that is going through this process. Also, along those lines, I have a home gym. It's in my garage, and all week I'm like, oh, it's 104 degrees out. I don't want to go in the garage and lift weights. And I'm like, so towards the end of the week, I was like, Jess, that is stupid. There's never going to be a perfect time, perfect temperature where the stars align and you're just gonna go through this workout that you're not gonna break a sweat. It just doesn't work that way. It's either gonna be cold because it's outside and it's winter, it'll be hot because it's summer. You know, like, there is no perfect time to work out, and there's no perfect temperature. What is the goal of a workout? To work out, you know, not to feel comfortable, you know, it's to push yourself. So I was like, all right, so I decided to clean up the garage, get the weight bench and all that stuff, get the dust off of it, and I want to grow the muscles inside my body. I love seeing my body lean out and the muscle growth there, you know, and it's like, my goals just have changed from looking at the outside to growing what's inside me, you know, and fueling that. So, and that also means that just because I'm lifting heavy does not mean I'm going to turn into an Incredible Hulk and I'm going to be in like some bodybuilding thing. No. It would take so much time to even attempt that kind of stuff. Like, we're just talking just me, you know, like just little old me. So don't be afraid of making muscle. Like, we need muscle too. It's not just men. So, and I want to start sharing that love with everybody else. But instead of just saying, oh, I wish, do it. And not in an extreme way that's unsustainable. So I feel like the urge to go extreme is going to be something I'm going to work with a lot this month. But I'm going to eventually, that extreme voice in my head that says, you know, cut it all out, stop eating, go run 50 miles, you know, fix it this week, fix what you've done this week, you know, which is unsustainable. You can't lose 60 pounds in a week, but, you know, like, my head's like, fix it. So, you know, for the next month or so, I'm going to be just eating intuitively, eating what I know. And as long as the scale is still moving, not at a fast pace, if it starts taking off fast, I'm gonna have to probably log food to make sure I'm eating enough. But as long as I'm not feeling restricted, and I should be eating that line where I'm just losing gradually. But as long as that's still going down, I don't know if I'm going to track foods in a food diary, because if it's working, I don't want to have to track foods the rest of my life. However, if the weight loss slows down too much where it doesn't move, okay, then I'll probably add the fitness tracker, I'm sorry, the like carb manager and, you know, the food diary thing. But, you know, I'm gonna play it by ear and see what's working. And the main thing is, I'm in no rush. This is the start of the rest of my life. So it's gonna come off. 60 pounds, you know, I had to lose 130, like, I could do 60, you know, it's not too late for me. So slow and steady is the point of the game, and building muscle, moving my body, and working through stress and triggers, and in a healthy way. I'm doing some meal prepping, so that's something to look forward to. And that might make my life a little easier too. It's all about building new healthy habits, being uncomfortable for that year or two, so that you have made new routines, and that, you know, those newness things turn into feeling like normal, you know, and not something that's new. So anyways, that is it for me this week. I'm feeling in a much better place, a little bit more in control, and I like the pace, and I like the rules that I put down for myself, and I like that I didn't put what I need to do in this box that is set out to be, well, this is how you have to lose weight. Like, I was like, I'm throwing all that away and I'm just gonna do what works for me. And at the end of the day, that's gonna be whether sticking to what works for me is gonna be dependent on if I hit that goal or not. You know, trying to force myself to fit into this mold of rules is probably not going to fit, because there is no one size fits all to a weight loss journey. So it's what works best for you, the you do you mentality. So yeah, I will say my kids went back to school like midweek last week. So this week I have like a full week where I can focus on me, what I want, and making fun new videos for this channel. So it's exciting, it's got me pumped, and let's do this, right? Bye-bye, I'm Jess, you're watching Keto Rewind.
I don't believe that you're leaving me. We don't believe in love anymore. I hate this feeling, 'cause I won't be